Hello, hello. What's going on? Welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts YouTube channel, Facebook group, podcast, however you are listening and hearing this. I hope that you are finding or do find this content helpful. I am Courtney Rollins, the host and the founder of Life and Transition Experts podcast, as well as the operator of Estate Pro Service. I like to call myself the Life and Transitions Property Specialist, where when you have challenges and big transitions in your life, particularly with the loss of a loved one or going through probate or downsizing or things of that nature, I'm here to provide as many solutions to you as possible when it comes to the property. And the property is just the spoke in the wheel. There's so many other aspects of probate, estate planning, senior transitions, even divorce and things of that nature that happen. Literally, life transitions where other services are needed, and I have people on my team that can support you and help you out. I am not an attorney or giving financial or legal advice. I'm just sharing my experience, in my opinion, and it has seemed to help many people, point them in the right direction. And so that's what we're doing here, trying to educate as much as we can and share and give as much as we can. And hopefully, as I said, you find this or someone you know find this helpful. So let's jump into it. One of the biggest challenges that we face, that many people face when they're doing a probate, is the account side, the final account and the annual account. At the time of this recording, it's in February, so a lot of people are getting into their taxes. If they're getting started early, hopefully that's you, and it needs to be me very soon so that I can have that taken care of. But so it's is not fun for many people crunching these numbers and getting this together. And if you're the personal representative of an estate, meaning you're the either the executor or you're the administrator, there's many different words that it's called in different states. But if you have a fiduciary responsibility uh, to make be an account for the assets and liabilities and things that are coming in and out of the estate, then this is definitely important for you. So we're looking specifically at North Carolina. We're looking at Form AOC-E-506. This is when you're filing an annual account or a final account. Hopefully you're filing that final account so that you can move on with the rest of your life. But let's take a look at what this is like. This is literally what I've gone over several times this week with a few folks that need us to support. Again, probate's the legal process of settling the affairs of someone who's passed away. If you pass away with debt in your name or property in your name, there has to be a way to address those, and that's the legal process is called probate. Now, this is specific to North Carolina that I'm going over, but the principles are general. And if you do need support in another state besides North Carolina, please reach out because I am connected to a nationwide group of vetted estate professionals, and I definitely can connect you to someone who should be able to help you out there. So let's look at the first part of the form. This is straight from, you can actually go to estateproservice.com/forms to get all the probate forms for North Carolina up to date. And here's the first part. You just simply fill out, as it states, the file number, the county that this is filed in, the name of the person who's passed away, stating that this is for a deceased party. You would state whether it's an annual or final account there, and you're discussing the accounting period from the last time of the account or the inventory to the date of that you're submitting this, or when all the information is relevant, and of course the date of death for that person. As you note here, if someone passed away before January 1st, 2013, there is a different form that you'll use, the one that was printed of uh, the version that was last created December 2020, 2017. So here we go. This top part right here, you're going to get this directly from the inventory sheet form 505, AOCE-505, whatever that number was for the personal property of the inventory you'll use there, or the last account if this is the probate's been open several times, or been open for, basically you have to file an annual account, surprise surprise, annually. And so if you did fill one out annually and it was because the probate was still open for whatever reason, that's the number that you put there. But there's a quick look at it right here. So this is form 505, and whatever's down at the bottom of the total amount down there is what you're going to use for this form here. You put that in right there. And what's cool about this is if you do go, if you pull it, these will auto populate for you so that the numbers will come out properly. Now, right here, this is if you do sell a property and it loses value. Basically, if property loses value quite often, people need to sell quickly to address some debts in the estate, or they're just selling quickly so they get on with their life, or unlock the inheritance. And so sometimes you may sell a property like a car that may be valued on the inventory at 10,000. You may sell it for 5,000. Um, and so that's a $5,000 loss. So now that you had that reported that so let's say the estate was worth 100,000 here, well, we subtract 5,000. That's going to be now uh, it won't be worth that much. So you put how much loss minus the loss there, and it'll automatically populate. And of course, all these you will need to attach some type of explanation. You put it in here, or attach explanation as needed. And all these should auto-populate as you start working on the back side, because these are going to be totaled from the different sections, unless you're doing this by hand, which means you need a calculator and making sure you're taking good notes. All right, so part two, this is what's remaining in the bank, any deposits or anything that's in the bank. If you have an estate account, which I definitely recommend that people have, still open. Sometimes it costs $25 to keep an account open, in some spaces $10, whatever it is, whatever's still in the account, it's still here. If you haven't dispersed any money to beneficiaries and the account's still open, you would put it there. But all that will put in there for bank accounts. If there's like securities or stock or investments, you'll put that there. If there's like tangible property, so for instance, I was working with the person yesterday, and they still had $2,000 in tools, and yeah, tools. So they still kept that there for $2,000. So that was all balanced out. Over here, that doesn't count towards it. There's property that's willed in the estate that hasn't been sold yet. You'll put the property value that's the same property value that you put on the inventory there. All right. Let's see. And real estate acquired. Yeah, if you purchased any real estate during that time, then you of course put it here, because you need to know, okay, how much does this estate have right now? Any other information, money that came in, rent or anything like that, you put it. You would have the total would come right there. You put it there. So this next section, I'm just going straight down the line. You'll put your name as the fiduciary. If there's a change of address, make sure you check that, put that there. If there's a co-fiduciary or a co-executor or co-administrator, you'll put that there. You wait to sign. Don't sign until you're in front of, um, before I recommend before you get in front of the deputy clerk, or if you have to get it, what do you call it? Yeah, so you just make sure they'll be signing that. That's what I'm saying. They'll be taking care of this, auditing it, making sure that it came out right, approved or disapproved, and they'll show you what reason. Hopefully, it gets approved, and you can rock and roll. This backside is what gets auto-populated in the front. So disbursements, were there any bills that were paid off, or any um, at this point you already have had the notice to creditors that has gone out to folks, and people have the opportunity to submit their bills and claims. You've hopefully negotiated them down, hopefully negotiated to zero, so there's nothing there. But if you did have to pay something, you put paid here. This is not what you sent to beneficiaries. This is the date that and the amount, or the person you paid to, and description of it, and the amount you paid to folks who have claims, bills against the estate. Only those that have been paid. All right. List them there. And of course, you provide copies of anything to show proof of payment. All right. This is the distribution. So disbursement is different from distribution. All right. So you'll put who was it distributed to and how much it was. You can say what it was distributed to John Smith, half of the Sekou account, $2,000. Sekou is like a bank, popular in North Carolina credit union, I should say. And this will all tally up. It'll all add up, and it will, if you go to the first page, uh, here you'll see right here is where it'll start calculating right there. That's why if you are online, if you get this document online, you see you can't really type in there because it's already has the formula to put here. But this is where you'll put the total if you do it yourself. Put the total here. Just for like the disbursements, the total goes right here. And this is if any money comes into the account, which you put right, will auto populate right there as well. Balance. Oh, there we go. Yeah, what was distributed goes here, and that's in the form. But let me make sure I have the right section, because I want to make sure you see this properly. And I'm gonna share my screen. Stop screen share because I think there's one section that is definitely important for folks to see. Come on, my friend. All right. So this is the account. So right here, receipts. Yes, so receipts. This is part three. So if you, this will go before part four. So I just want to make sure you have that because it looked like I didn't put it on my slides here. So this is money that was received, rentals, loans that were given to the estate, anything that was like paid back or received between the time of your last inventory or account needs to go in here and it'll auto populate. And so yeah, so I just want to make sure you saw that. And let's rock. All right, so if you need any support, definitely feel free to reach out. I would love to work with you. It is important that if you are doing the final account, that the part has to zero out over here. Let's see. If you're doing the balance on number 9 on part 1, this should be a zero if if you're doing the final count. But if it's not, then that should match part 1. You know you've done it right if the total balance held or invested matches part 2, part 1 match the same. So that's a good indication that things are done correctly. Again, if you need any support, I'm like the hub in the wheel. Again, I don't disclaim to be a attorney or don't and or a financial advisor, and I stay in my lane, but I can support you and give you my opinion that may help this process a lot smoother. And um, yeah, so feel free to reach out and give a I offer free consultation conversations, calendly.com, estateproservice.com, or you can call me 919-341-1992. This is Courtney Rollins. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Hopefully, again, it was helpful. And this is the LITE, Life and Transitions Experts podcast. Signing off as I always do.